There is a strange pride among ambitious people. They say they are anxious because they care. They say their restless mind is depth. They say the tension is necessary. They say the pressure proves they are serious. Notice this carefully. You call it high standards. You call it drive. You call it being wired differently. But your jaw's tight, your sleep is shallow, your shoulders are never fully relaxed, your thoughts do not sit, they pace. You believe anxiety is the price of becoming someone. It is not. Life is not crushing you. Indecision is. Watch an iron beam when it bends. It does not bend because it is weak. It bends because two forces pull it in opposite directions. If only one force pulls, it remains steady. It moves, it adjusts, it holds. But when two masters pull at once, the structure trembles. So are you. You want to be admired, but you want to stay comfortable. You want peace, but you want to win. You want wealth, but you resist the effort required. You want freedom, but you fear losing what you already have. You want honesty, but you also want approval. Two masters, one body. And you stand in the middle calling it stress. No, you are divided. Stress is not mysterious. It is two desires arguing in the same room. You do not suffer because life is heavy. You suffer because you refuse to decide what you are willing to lose. Every path costs something. If you choose discipline, you lose comfort. If you choose truth, you risk rejection. If you choose growth, you sacrifice familiarity. If you choose safety, you surrender expansion. Every choice is a trade, but indecision is the most expensive trade of all. It drains you slowly, every day, without ever delivering a result. Now look deeper. Stress is one rope pulled tight. Anxiety is a room full of ropes you never untangled. Old conversations you never finished. Expectations you never questioned. Fears you postponed. Resentments you swallowed and renamed maturity. Dreams you buried because they felt inconvenient. You wake up and reach for your phone before your feet touch the floor. You answer messages while ignoring the tightness in your chest. You laugh at jokes while something inside you remains unresolved. You say, "I'm fine," while your body disagrees. You move quickly. You react. You perform. You distract. You do not sit long enough to notice what entered you, so it accumulates, like dust in a room that is never cleaned, like unpaid debts that gather interest. And one day you wake up with weight in your chest, and no clear reason. You say, "I don't know why I feel this way." You do. You simply have not been still long enough to see it. You think reflection is weakness. You think it is overthinking. You think it makes you soft. But reflection is maintenance. There is a difference between observing a wound and building a throne around it. Some people examine their pain and say, "This is just who I am." They turn anxiety into identity. They turn chaos into personality. They turn fear into branding. And then they protect the very pattern that harms them. That is ego disguised as awareness. Real observation is quieter. It does not announce itself. It does not post about itself. It simply asks, what is pulling me in two directions? What conversation have I avoided? What truth have I postponed because it would require a trade? Notice the word, trade. Every anxiety hides a trade you refuse to accept. You want the relationship, but not the reality of the person. You want the body, but not the training. You want the respect, but not the discipline. You want the outcome, but not the becoming. So the mind loops, and loops, and loops. You replay conversations in the shower. You imagine arguments in the car. You rehearse future scenarios before sleep. You say you want peace of mind. You do not. You want peace without removing what disturbs you. You want calm without choosing clearly. The mind is not your enemy. It is a storyteller. But you believe every story it tells. You treat every thought as fact, every fear as prophecy, every doubt as evidence. Look carefully. Everything you experience, body, thought, memory, emotion, appears inside awareness. That awareness has not changed. When you were 5, it was there. When you were 15, it was there. When you are 50, it will still be there. Your face changed. Your beliefs changed. Your friends changed. Your goals changed. The witnessing did not. Yet you build identity on what shifts. Reputation, youth, status and approval, momentum. You build castles on sand and call the collapse bad luck. Life will bring gain and loss. 2 people walk the same road. One complains about the stones. The other notices the horizon. The road is identical. The narration is different. You try to control the road. You cannot. But you can observe the narration, and much of your suffering lives there. You think your stress comes from circumstance, but often it comes from interpretation. You believe something should be different. You believe someone should behave differently. You believe life should unfold on your schedule. When reality does not obey, you call it unfair. Reality is not unfair. Reality is indifferent. It moves. Now consider death. You avoid it. You treat it like a shadow in the corner of the room. But death clarifies. One day, someone will pack your clothes into boxes. Your name will be spoken less often. Your digital accounts will remain, but you will not. The arguments you replay tonight will not survive a decade. All of it, gone. The pressure you feel to impress someone, the anxiety over a small mistake, the fear of looking foolish, gone. So what are you protecting so fiercely? You fear not being here one day. But how often are you here now? You sit in one room thinking about another. You eat while scrolling. You listen while preparing your reply. You work while imagining the weekend. You rest while feeling guilty. Your body is present. Your attention is elsewhere. And you call that living. Wasted time is not rest. It is not leisure. It is not enjoyment. Wasted time is absence. If you are fully present, even in something small, that moment is alive. If you are resisting it, negotiating with it, wishing it were different, you are absent from your own life. You fear death, yet you practice absence daily. Now consider decisions. You ask whether to trust your head or your gut. The head speaks loudly. It lists pros and cons. It calculates risks. It demands guarantees. It is excellent at solving problems with clear edges, but it is poor at choosing who you are becoming. The mind wants certainty. The gut waits for clarity. The gut is accumulated judgment, years of pattern recognition layered quietly beneath thought. Often you knew. In the relationship that later broke you, you knew. In the opportunity that drained you, you knew. In the habit that slowly weakened you, you knew. But desire was louder. You wanted the story more than the truth. You wanted the image more than the reality. So you negotiated with warning signs like a merchant bargaining over spoiled fruit. You told yourself it would improve. You told yourself you were overreacting. You told yourself you were being dramatic. Later, you call it fate. It was ignored clarity. As you age, intuition sharpens. Not because you become smarter, but because you become less willing to lie to yourself. You grow tired of explaining away what is obvious. You grow tired of arguing with your own knowing. You grow tired of pretending confusion where there is reluctance. You suffer less not because life softens, but because you stop pretending. And this is where many misunderstand peace. Peace is not the absence of challenge. Peace is the absence of division. When your actions align with what you know is true, tension decreases. When your behavior matches your values, anxiety softens. When your choices reflect your priorities, the rope stops shaking. This does not make life easy. It makes you whole. Observe your conflicts. Where do you say one thing and do another? Where do you demand results without accepting cost? Where do you call something complicated when it is simply uncomfortable? You are not anxious because the world is impossible. You are anxious because you negotiate with yourself. You stand at the door of effort and bargain with comfort. You say, just 5 more minutes, just one more distraction, just this once. And the rope trembles again, the mind loops again, the chest tightens again. You are not overwhelmed, you are divided. Division creates noise, clarity creates stillness. This does not require perfection, it requires honesty. Honesty about what you want, honesty about what it costs, honesty about what you are unwilling to give up. Once you see the trade clearly, anxiety loses power. Because then it is no longer vague, it is no longer a fog, it is simply a decision. And remember this, there is a moment each day when you know exactly what should be done. You feel it, it is quiet, it is steady, it does not shout, and then the negotiation begins. You weigh comfort against growth, approval against truth, safety against expansion. Anxiety is not your curse, it is the echo of that negotiation. Life is not attacking you, reality is not punishing you. You are not broken, you are divided, and division is always louder than truth. When you stop negotiating with what you already know, the noise begins to fade. Not because life changes, but because you finally chose